never just like, all right, I'm done with the songs. I could probably tweet that I'm gonna drop this, right? No, bitch. All that artwork that somebody got to do, you got to get different options of artwork. You got to get different options of video. If you're shooting videos, you got to fucking get a video shot and get somebody else to edit it. That's gonna take 3 weeks. All this shit is planned to drop. Finish this album. Oh, I just finished this album. You shot a whole front page and on the featured page before you.
Album had some toast in a cup. Mm-hmm.
Let's go by that. It's oh gee, I'm not doing it. How can you call yourself a real nigga and a gangster and you got? Oh my god, I'm tired. But I'm fake for telling.
Direction. Kandarian Demon, it's
truth, if you truly want to find me.
Was the go command. One tap issues orders to your team based on what you're pointing at. Pin enemies in place with suppressive fire while you flank.
moved to the next airlock. The third subzone will be the most...
Some Arkeans are responding to an elite as if they're communicating.
On PC, Xbox One and Series, PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. This is a complete walkthrough of one mission you'll carry out in Aragami 2, for you to take a deeper dive into stealth, combat and movement, as well as shadow powers. Please feel free to share any questions in the comment section. Thanks for your support, and we hope you enjoy this gameplay.
Hi, welcome back to and the place. Reason number one, flight, so you don't have to pay for it again. That's a pretty good deal, especially Pass game. So if you are a Game Pass or Game Pass Ultimate subscriber, you get it as part of your subscription. So you don't have a new IP, so we don't know much about it. Weird platformer, familiar sounding title. Brand new game in the classic strategy.
Hello everyone, it's SpawnPoint and welcome back to another video. So the Xbox Series X and Series S have been out for just over 4 months now, and having used the Series X almost daily since launch, I thought it was time that I did a follow-up video to my first one, where I unboxed it and I gave it my first impressions. I've not got one yet, but there's also the option to go, and they look pretty nice as well. I might actually do a, when it comes to the speed of the Xbox and the backwards compatibility, while I've been sat at my desk. Now, as I am an Amazon Prime member, in fact I think I've been with Amazon for probably like 6 or 7 years now, I also benefit from Prime Gaming, and that includes the monthly drops, perks and bundles that they regularly offer. So Prime Gaming and Riot Games, that's a developer behind Valorant, they're actually giving away a free item this month. So if you're already a Prime member, this Lovebite Gun Buddy is completely free for you. All you need to do is click the link in the description of this video and you can claim it now, but just bear in mind this offer does expire, I'm not really too sure, but I'm terrible, absolutely awful, but I've still enjoyed it and it obviously runs really smoothly as well on here. Now there are loads of other games as well that have been up in the library, so never heard the fans kick in. I literally don't know what the fans sound like. It's actually quieter than the PlayStation 5, so whether it is on or off you cannot hear it at all, other than the beep when you first turn it on. But after hours and hours of gameplay, I've never heard the fans kick in. I literally don't know what the fans sound like. As for the disc drive, well I don't actually have any discs at all, so I can't test that out, but I would imagine it was still quite quiet as well. So the dashboard and the overall UI of the Xbox Series X has kind of left me feeling pretty bored. Now it looks fine and it is very, very easy to use. It's a lot easier to use than the PlayStation 5, but as I've mentioned before, I also like the pop-up menu, so on the controller itself, if you press compatible with this, unfortunately, at least. So we know that the internal storage of the Xbox Series X is a 1TB SSD, of which just over 800GB is usable. So although 800GB is probably enough for most, there's also the option to expand this using the Seagate storage cards. So for about £220 or $220 on the Xbox website today, you can actually buy these official cards and they plug into the back of the console, and that adds an additional 1TB of storage, and that keeps exactly the same performance as the internal memory, plus they look pretty neat as well. What's great about these drives is you can actually play and store your optimized games for the Xbox Series S and X on here. Now you can also use the normal SSD drives like the SanDisk drives that I've got, but this will not work with playing Xbox Series X or S optimized games. It will only work with back compatible games. So if you follow my other gaming channel, which is SpawnPoint Gaming, you'll know that I regularly upload gameplay footage of games, as it won't let you do that unfortunately. So I'm using a SanDisk Extreme, I first hoped it would be. So if you want to record for more than 30 seconds in 4K, you'll actually need a compatible 3.0 external SSD drive, and that will then allow you to record onto that instead of the internal drive, as it won't let you do that unfortunately. So I'm using a SanDisk, which is absolutely awesome. However, it's not. So if you follow my other gaming channel, which is SpawnPoint Gaming, you'll know that I regularly upload gameplay footage of games I'm currently playing on the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X. So being able to record games and easily upload them is really important to me. Now the Xbox does support the option to record in 4K, which is absolutely awesome. However, it's not quite as easy as I first hoped it would be. So if you want to record for more than 30 seconds in 4K, you'll actually need a compatible 3.0 external SSD drive, and that will then allow you to record onto that instead of the internal drive, as it won't let you do that unfortunately. So I'm using a SanDisk Extreme SSD. Now I've only gone for the 500 gig version as I've got no intention of adding much more than that. So it needs formatting to NTFS. You need to plug it into a laptop. You can't just plug it straight into the Xbox unfortunately. But once it's formatted, you can then plug it into the Xbox and it's ready to go. You need to go to the capture settings screen. You need to select the new drive and you need to set it as capture location. Now on the capture window, you'll also then have the option to change between the internal memory, which is all you would have if you didn't have an SSD plugged in, and now you can change it to the SSD. So in this case, I've actually called my SSD Xbox Series X. So to capture games, it's really easy. You just need to press and hold the share button on the controller, and then it will start recording to the SSD. And then you just press and hold again to stop that recording. So the issue is when you actually want to take that footage and upload it to YouTube like I do, you cannot actually upload straight from the Xbox. What you need to do is you need to remove that drive from the Xbox, you need to plug it back into your laptop, and then you need to upload it manually. Now this seems all just unnecessary to me. Whereas on the PlayStation 5, you can capture it on the console, you don't need an SSD, and you can upload it straight to YouTube. So hopefully Xbox offer this via an update in the future, which will allow you to upload your footage straight to YouTube like you can on the PlayStation. Or if you know of an easier way, please do let me know, because I do regularly upload my PlayStation 5 footage because it's so easy. Whereas the Xbox, the fact I need to unplug the SSD and plug it into my laptop, I can't be bothered to do it all the time, so I'd only upload maybe a few videos a month. So when it comes to issues or faults with the Xbox, I've actually only experienced one problem so far, although it has repeated itself about 4 or 5 times. And this is something to do with the connectivity between the console and the controllers. So for some reason the console will just stop working with all 3 controllers, all at the same time as well. Now if I actually turn the console off and on again, that won't fix it. The only workaround that I've found so far is to completely power it down. So remove the power cable out the back of the console, leave it unplugged for maybe a minute or so, and then plug it back in. And once I do that, then the controllers start to work again. Now as I say, this has happened about 4 or 5 times, and it seems to be if I let one of the controllers turn itself off on its own, so due to inactivity for example, and once it does that, that's it. All 3 controllers just disconnect and I cannot use them until I power it down completely. So what improvements would I want to make to the Xbox Series X now that I've used it? Well, I think the first one for me at least is the gameplay capturing that has to be improved. You can't have to remove an SSD drive from the console to plug it into a laptop and then upload it to YouTube. You need to be able to do it from the console, so that definitely needs to be implemented. I'm surprised it's not on there already, to be honest. I'd also quite like the user interface to be updated, maybe something cleaner, maybe make the tiles smaller and make use of the wallpapers that you can see behind. I also think the controller should have come with inbuilt batteries. Now I know Xbox have never done this, and I know a lot would argue that they'd rather replace a battery if it goes faulty than an entire controller when it dies.